Life million years ago. How did prehistoric humans survive before the invention of weapons? A journey through prehistoric life. The struggles and triumphs of early humans. The world we know today has been shaped by millions of years of human evolution. The earliest humans, before they became the powerful species we are today, lived in an environment that was both harsh and dangerous. Imagine a time when there were no weapons, no fire for warmth or cooking, no clothes to protect against the elements, and no societal structures. How did these early humans survive in such a hostile world? This question takes us back to a time over 6 million years ago, to the dawn of hominid history, where life was ruled by the forces of nature. In this documentary-style journey, we will explore how our distant ancestors survived, adapted, and ultimately became the humans we are today. The origins of Homo sapiens, Australopithecus, and the dawn of human evolution. Our story begins long before Homo sapiens even existed. Around 6 million years ago, the first hominids began to emerge in Africa. These early ancestors were not much like us in terms of appearance or behavior. They were small ape-like creatures who spent most of their lives in the trees. Known as Australopithecus, these early hominids had evolved to walk on 2 legs, an important step towards becoming human. In the absence of weapons, Australopithecus relied on their natural environment for survival. They used trees to escape predators, foraged for fruits, leaves, and seeds, and lived in groups for protection. The ability to stand on 2 legs freed up their hands, which would later play a vital role in tool making. Though they didn't have tools in the way we think of them today, these early hominids had basic methods of survival. They likely used their environment's natural resources like stones, sticks, and sharp rocks to defend themselves when necessary. But it wasn't until later that our ancestors would begin developing the tools that would change the course of history. The emergence of Homo habilis, the first toolmakers. Fast forward to around 2.5 million years ago, and the story begins to take a more familiar turn. Homo habilis, one of the earliest members of the genus Homo, emerged in Africa. This was the beginning of a new chapter in human evolution, one that would eventually lead to the rise of modern humans. Homo habilis is often credited as the first hominid to make and use tools. However, these tools were not sophisticated weapons as we might think. Instead, early stone tools were simple but effective in their purpose. Early humans used sharp-edged stones for cutting, scraping, and breaking open animal bones. This marked the beginning of a new survival strategy: tool use. With tools, Homo habilis could access new sources of food, such as meat, which was a significant step forward in human evolution. But even with these tools, Homo habilis would still have to rely on other strategies to survive. Their primary means of protection would have been their ability to adapt to their environment. Early humans learned how to use the landscape to their advantage, hiding in caves or using natural shelters for protection. They also learned to move in groups, using teamwork to overcome challenges and defend against predators. The rise of Homo erectus, mastering fire and expanding the human range. As time passed, the hominids continued to evolve and a new species emerged, Homo erectus. This species, which appeared around 1.9 million years ago, marked another critical point in human evolution. Homo erectus had a larger brain and a more advanced body structure than previous species. Most importantly, they were the first to control fire. With fire, Homo erectus gained a critical tool for survival. Fire allowed them to cook food, which not only made it easier to digest but also provided essential nutrients. It also helped them stay warm in colder climates, which allowed them to expand their range beyond Africa into Asia and Europe. The ability to make fire also provided protection against predators, as fire could be used to ward off dangerous animals. But even before the discovery of fire, Homo erectus would have relied on their natural ingenuity to survive. They were skilled hunters and gatherers, using tools like hand axes, spears, and knives. Their survival was based on a combination of adaptability, social cooperation, and a deep understanding of the world around them. Life in the Ice Age. Survival against the elements and predators. Fast forward to the Ice Age, around 100,000 years ago, and the world was a very different place. The climate was colder, and large predators such as mammoths and saber-toothed tigers roamed the land. In this new world, survival required even more sophisticated methods. During this time, early humans, including Homo sapiens and other species like Neanderthals, faced some of the harshest conditions in history. These humans were still without advanced weapons, but they had developed tools that were more refined than ever before. They used spears, flint tools, and bone needles to hunt and build shelter. Humans of this era learned to adapt to the environment through careful planning, teamwork, and innovation. One of the most remarkable survival strategies was the development of clothing made from animal skins, which allowed early humans to withstand freezing temperatures. They also began to construct more permanent shelters, such as huts and caves, which provided protection against the elements. Social structures and cooperation, survival in numbers. Even without modern weapons, early humans survived because they worked together. Social cooperation was a key factor in survival, and it's likely that early human groups relied heavily on group dynamics to hunt, gather, and protect themselves from predators. Humans are social animals, and this social nature likely helped us survive in the most challenging conditions. Early human groups were likely led by the strongest or most skilled individuals, and there would have been a division of labor within these groups. Some individuals would have hunted while others gathered food, made tools, or looked after the young. Communication was another important factor in early human survival. While language was still in its infancy, early humans likely used a combination of gestures and vocalizations to coordinate efforts and convey important information. The ability to communicate would have been crucial for hunting in groups and avoiding danger. The role of early art and symbolism in survival. Another fascinating aspect of early human life was the development of art and symbolism. Around 40,000 years ago, Homo sapiens began creating cave paintings and carvings, marking the dawn of artistic expression. While these artworks were not directly related to survival, they likely played a role in the development of social and cultural bonds within early human groups. Some researchers believe that art may have been used in rituals or as a form of communication. The creation of symbolic objects, such as necklaces and body ornaments, could have been a way for early humans to express their identity and strengthen group cohesion. These early forms of expression were essential in the formation of human culture and helped humans adapt to and thrive in their environment. The path to modern humans: survival through innovation and adaptation. The story of early humans is one of survival against all odds. From the early days of Australopithecus to the rise of Homo sapiens, humanity has faced countless challenges. Early humans survived by adapting to their environment, developing new tools, and working together as a group. They learned to use fire, create shelter, hunt and gather food, and protect themselves from predators. Even before the invention of sophisticated weapons, early humans were already innovators. They found ways to adapt and thrive in an ever-changing world. And it was this ability to adapt, come to think, create, and cooperate that ultimately allowed humans to survive and evolve into the species we are today. In the end, it wasn't just our physical abilities or our use of weapons that allowed us to survive. It was our ability to think, adapt, and work together as a species. These qualities, more than any tool or weapon, defined what it meant to be human and have shaped our evolution for millions of years. So, how did prehistoric humans survive before the invention of weapons? They survived by being resourceful, adaptable, and deeply connected to the natural world. And this journey from simple tools to advanced survival strategies is a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of our ancestors. As we look back on this ancient history, it's not just about how we got here, but about the deep connection we share with our past. The survival skills that allowed early humans to thrive are still within us today, a reminder that the story of humanity is far from over.